Alright guys, what is up? Patriots here, and a lot later than usual today, as I've been kind of complaining. I guess I got like 80 views on yesterday's video, and I asked, what the fuck? What do I do? What on earth am I gonna do? And Capgun suggested put it out a bit later, or technically a lot later by my standards, so I'm gonna try that. If this, kind of works out, I'll go with this later time as my usual time, but in any event, doesn't matter. Today's video is kind of a tip video. I mean, tip videos usually consist of I show you a certain clip or a certain style of clip. We do it over and over again. I walk you through it. I tell you what class to use and all this kind of stuff. But that's not what we're doing today. So the gameplay on your screen is a lockdown, capture the flag, competitive team scrim. This was from the first night my new team played together. I haven't streamed this yet because first night I wasn't streaming only because teams sometimes blow up in the first 3 minutes because they don't get along right away off the bat when adding a new piece. We happened to get along. Last night the stream, I don't know, I couldn't get my computer to do it correctly. It kept distorting the audio and the video and it was just ugly, so I shut it off because there's no point in putting out non-quality content. If you can't see it or hear it, there's no point in me having it there. And tonight, as of right now, it's 9:30 and my team isn't on, or at least Irish isn't on. I don't know. I think Insane and Opinion are on, but hey, right now, not my biggest concern, I guess. Right there, that was a nice job by me, if I do say so myself. However, I've been playing some public games. I probably played, I don't know, let's say 25 or so in the last week. I've been I got back into it last weekend or so, or earlier this week, for a video that I was doing, helping someone else out. So I had to, get some gameplay audio and do all that kind of stuff. So I had to go into the game and get that. But then I've played a few more after that, just because I find it so amusing. Once you play competitively, pubs are so much easier. Like, I go into Team Deathmatch, and I go 35-2. Like, it's my regular day job. Like, that's it. There is nothing worse. If I do worse, it's like 40-5. Okay, that's like my God, I want to kill myself. I'm ready to execute myself. Execution style. Here we go. Like, obviously, I've dropped like a 32-9, but I mean, compared to the other guys in the lobby, I am like walking Jesus Christ. And I don't want to say you guys are bad, but I assume that the people who watch my videos, some of you are like that. Some of you. Like I was playing a game today. It was bootleg team deathmatch. I was 35-3, and the next highest on my team was 5 kills. I was like, really? Come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, how are we gonna finish this game if you're putting up 5 kills? And the next one was like 4-2-1-0. It was ugly. Like the guy was like 0-13 or something. So after playing competitively mainly for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months or so, you learn some things, especially, that maybe you knew before, but you didn't necessarily take into account when playing pubs. You kind of just ran around out of your mind. So, first of all, right off the bat, something I've always prided myself on knowing, but when you play competitively, you know a lot better, for sure, is knowing the spawn system. Knowing the spawn system is practically key to winning competitive, especially lockdown CTF, but competitive in general. Because not necessarily like people go, oh, you're going to spawn trap. Well, on lockdown, you kind of spawn trap. But what I generally mean by the spawn system is just knowing where they're going to be coming from. Like, take Arcaden, for example. If you're pulling the flag out of bar, or the other side for that matter, it doesn't really matter, but say you're pulling it out of bar, and you guys, slay them, and you pull it towards green. You're coming towards green, or coming out of green, whatever which way you're going. You gotta know that they're gonna spawn up top, and you gotta cut off the glass. And if you're taking the flag through minibar, you gotta make sure that you have someone in the minibar area, making sure that you cut them off, because they're gonna spawn up top in that corner, and they're gonna jump down the escalators. Now, if you're pulling the opposite direction, they're gonna spawn up top by construction, paint, whatever you want to call it, and you're gonna have to know that you need to cut that off because they're gonna come to top glass. On this map, to my left over here right now is church side. When you're on this side of the map, which we are actually starting this round off on the side of the map, and we do mighty fine considering this is really usually bad side, and you're basically happy if you get out without giving up 2, as you spawn right here, as you can see. You gotta know how to trap them. You gotta know just common sense. Like, you have to instinctively know where they're going to be, especially in capture the flag. You know, you're pulling flag, you got to know, okay, they're going to be spawning here, because you don't want to run the flag into them. You know, if you see there's a red dot on your minimap and they're shooting from green, they're going to spawn over towards green. They ain't going to spawn on the other side of the map. You got to go the other way. You can't run the flag into them. And I'm going to bring you guys a gameplay later on this week on Dome, where twice I take it straight up the middle of the map. I take the flag right from one end to straight up the middle. I think I took it from Dome straight up the middle into the office. And the reason I did that is because I knew all 4 of them were pushing loading docks hard. And that if I got through the middle part, if I got right through sidewalk, I'm clear. I'm good. I'm in. It's over. You got just kind of things you got to know. If they're pushing loading docks, they're going to spawn loading docks. And if they're all pushing loading docks, take the flag the other way. You don't want to run into them. Now, that's something, you know, spawn system can work in any game type, but I kind of really based all my theory on CTF there. But another thing I notice I do a lot now is I think about dropping. And what I mean by dropping is falling out of windows, or jumping off ledges that are just high enough to make that noise when you... Whoa, I just punched my mic as I'm like waving my hands as if you guys can see me. You make that, you know, like say right there, I just dropped down. I made a like bone-shattering sound when I fell off there. You know, I think about that when I play competitive. I'm like, do I want to drop here? They're going to hear me. You know, you kind of look around and you kind of gauge different areas. Like every map, for every place I drop down, I kind of know there's certain things, if I hit them the right way, will kind of slide me down, not necessarily drop, so I don't make that sound. Like right here, I know that they're going to spawn church, so I'm kind of cutting off the middle. I get one here in the middle. I get another one off the middle arch. That was perfect. Knowing that they're going to spawn in that back left side towards church, knowing that they're either going to run straight out of church or they're going to kind of come towards the middle. I looked towards church, did not see them, came back towards the middle, was able to take them out. So, you know, one of those things that you know, especially in competitive, is dropping down. Now, in public games, is that necessarily too helpful? No, because a lot of guys aren't wearing headsets in public games, which is another thing I noticed. You know, I kill people, and I'm like, oh shit, they're going to call me out. No, they're not. It's a public game. No one's calling me out. I don't have anything to worry about here. I'm good to go for life, man. Which is probably why I do so well in TDM, because I know no one's communicating. There's no, like, yes, I should be careful about dropping, but really, who's going to hear me? And if they do, chances are I'll beat them in a gunfight anyway. But, you know, there's just some, you know, little itsy-bitsy things that you should know when playing, you know, Call of Duty in general, and especially competitive. Dropping down is the thing you got to be careful of. Knowing the spawns can help you in any situation. Like, watch your team especially. You know, even if you're playing TDM, where I think the spawn system is really hard to gauge at times, you know, you don't really know exactly, you can't pinpoint a spawn. Like CTF, I can pretty much tell you with 95% accuracy exactly where they're going to spawn, like what next to what box. Not just what side. I know what side, obviously they're going to spawn on their side, but I can pretty much gauge exactly where they're going to place their guys. TDM, it's a little bit harder, but if you watch your team, you know, if they're pushing the right side of the map, they're going to get the left side spawn. They're not going to spawn the right side. So, you know, it's just kind of one of those things you got to pay attention to your minimap. Not sprinting around corners, head glitching. It's all part of being a better Call of Duty player. I mean, I think head glitching is ridiculous, but if it's there and it's going to get done to you if you don't do it to them, I mean, you got to take advantage of it, because, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to run around and die a million times just because you're not taking advantage of how they want you to play the game? Like, Infinity Ward clearly intends for those head glitches to be there, because they're so blatantly obvious. It's not even funny. Like, on Dome, on the left side of Dome, there's that red shipping container. And right behind it, you can hop up on this little box, crate, whatever you want to call it, and you can look up towards loading docks, and all they can see is the tippy top of your forehead. Infinity Ward obviously know when they put that box there that it was going to be a head glitch. Like, they intended for you to be able to do that. It's not an accident. You know, I used to think back in COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, you know, the dumpsters you can head glitch on, like, they didn't really mean for that to happen. Or you can manipulate staircases to where, you know, only your forehead's showing, and it's just one of those things. Like right here, I take it over here because my team is set up in a position that looks good for a mannequin side pull. But, you know, I always thought that they didn't mean for that to happen. You know, it was just kind of the way you were manipulating your body. But clearly, I've learned in this game that it's completely intentional. So it's one of those things, you know, take advantage of it. You know, if you know there's a head glitch like bootleg, especially on the platform side, you can hop up on the crate. If you're coming towards chicken coops, if you're a chicken coop side, you can stick your head under that railing. If you're coming from towards chicken coops again, you can go on that on the railing and head glitch up behind the box. I mean, it's a lot of things public players don't notice, and I slay them and smack them for it every time they don't realize it. In this game right here, I mean, this is a game battles team we're smacking right now. This was our second or third game together. I mean, we are absolutely destroying kids because of our knowledge of the spawn system, our knowledge of not dropping down, our knowledge of which way to pull. You know, and obviously in public games, pulling which direction, it's kind of tough because you don't know where your teammates are going to go. But, you know, just, you know, those general things, knowing the spawns, knowing this, knowing that, it's going to help you in the long run. You know, if you want me to give more kind of tips, I guess, in the future, just kind of babble on about some things you really should be paying attention to when trying to get better at a game, let me know, and I can try to think up some more, because I definitely have more. There's definitely tons of things in competitive that you think about. A lot of them are team-oriented, but I can definitely think of some things, you know, if you're one shot, don't rush around a corner, all that kind of stuff. I can talk about it more in depth in the future. Leave a like on the video. I'll see you later.